Hello and welcome to the Gaming News Roundup. My name is Amata and I'm going to give you all the latest in gaming as of the 11th of April 2012. It looks like Lost Planet 3 is going to have a bit of a surprise for everyone. Well, the fact that it's even being released is a bit of a surprise in itself, considering that the first two Lost Planet games were good but not exactly great games whose main strength was the setting rather than the gameplay itself. But it looks like that the team-based space shooter will be now diverting into survival horror territory, which is interesting. So yeah, I mean, Lost Planet 3 has always been team-based, story-driven, and all that good stuff, and I never really got the survival horror vibe from it before, but that's obviously because it wasn't going for that. So I find it interesting that this is where they've decided to go. Although what they mean by survival horror, I don't know. I mean, it could just be occasionally there's jump scares, or it could be more atmospheric. Since it's Capcom, I'm not really sure. They have gone very actiony in the last few years with Resident Evil, but supposedly Resident Evil 6 is kind of more of a return to form to the survival horror part of the original games. So maybe we'll be seeing something similar for Lost Planet 3, where it's more about atmosphere and things like that. That would actually be kind of cool. I mean, I've not played Lost Planet 2, but I did play Lost Planet 1, and the planet itself was very beautiful and kind of lonely because of how vast and kind of barren it was with the harsh weather and stuff like that. So you probably could, in that setting, create quite a nice atmosphere and some tension to build up some nice horror. So that's personally what I hope they do, rather than just going for pure jump scares on this one. We have yet another rumour on our hands for the next-gen Xbox, and that is the claim that the new console is set to boast a 16-core CPU. Now, this is according to the latest issue of Xbox World, which reports that a codename Durango dev kit was sent to developers last month. Now, these kits don't resemble the final console in appearance, but it does represent what may be hitting us in late 2013. Now, the source claims that the dev kit is powered by a 16-core IBM PowerC PC GPU with a graphics processor on par with AMD's Radeon HD 7000 series graphics card, as has been previously rumoured. Now, a 16-core processor would be quite interesting and a surprising addition, because it's future tech even for a high-end PC at the moment. So that will give it some much-needed power under the hood, because from the rumoured specs so far, the new Xbox looks like it's going to be powerful, but still kind of lagging behind the high-end PCs. But that wasn't really a surprise to anyone. So suddenly saying, oh, it's going to have a 16-core CPU, let's give it some serious power, and it'd be quite interesting to see what they would do with it. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if this is actually true. It could be, it could not be. I mean, I'm not sure how likely this actually is, to be honest with you. I mean, if it's sort of futuristic, even for a high-end PC, would they really go with it? Because it's not really an issue of they don't want the power. Of course they want the power, but they also have to think about cost-effectiveness when it comes to this sort of thing. You know, how much does it take to manufacture the console compared to how much they're charging for it? How can they kind of balance their costs, kind of thing. So if they're putting this very powerful 16-core CPU in their machine, that I would imagine would ramp up the cost quite significantly. So that is the main reason I'm not sure if this is actually true, but obviously we don't know yet. This is just a rumour. If anyone has any more information for this, then please let me know, but I haven't been able to find anything. As far as I'm aware, this is still rumour. Nothing has been confirmed or denied. So yeah, we'll have to just see. To be honest, I'd be a little bit surprised if this is actually true for the reasons I've already stated, but it wouldn't complain if this was true, because it'd be nice if the new Xbox had some power, but I wouldn't want to pay the extra just for that. I would prefer a more well-balanced, well-rounded console that has, a nice amount of power under the hood, but isn't ridiculously overpowered to the point where they have to charge a stupid amount of money to balance the costs of manufacturing the console. Some interesting news as well today. Capcom, Sega and Namco have revealed a crossover strategy RPG. Now they've united for a new project for the Nintendo 3DS, which is titled Project Cross Zone, and each of the three are contributing some of their biggest and most popular characters to the new strategy RPG. Now only a couple of details have been revealed at the latest Famitsu, but the magazine does report that each company's set of characters will operate in pairs during battles. Now there's quite a extensive list, well not extensive, but it's a fairly long list of characters here, so bear with me. So we have Ryu and Ken, which is obviously Street Fighter, X and Zero, Mega Man, Dimitri and Dante, Darkstalkers and Devil May Cry obviously, Chris and Jill, Resident Evil, Shinguji Sakura and Ogami Ichiro from Sakura Wars. Please excuse my pronunciation, I probably just murdered those names. Pai and Akira from Virtua Fighter, Kurt and Riella from Valkyria Chronicles, Ulala and Tuma from Space Channel 5 Shining Force EXA, Sanga Somvold from Super Robot Wars, Jin and Ling Xiaoyu from Tekken, Cosmos and Telos from Xenosaga, Yuri and Estelle from Tales of Vesperia, and Kaito and Black Rose from Dot Hack. So yeah, some very interesting choices, some that actually get me kind of excited for this. So yeah, that's pretty much all the information there is at the moment, but this looks like it could be interesting. Strategy RPG with all these big names under the hood. I mean, Ryu and Ken, Dante, Chris and Jill, Xiao Yu, all of these. It sounds like it could be really interesting actually. Just reading that list got me kind of excited for this game. So I'll be keeping a close eye to see if there's any more information released for you guys. But yeah, I'll be interested to see hear your thoughts, on this upcoming title. And lastly, Sony seems to be in a spot of trouble as it's warned investors that it's about to post its biggest loss ever. The company says that it will lose a record $6.4 billion for the financial year ended March 31st. The biggest loss in company's history, crowning a fourth straight year without any profits. The company, which is also set to cut 10,000 jobs, says the newly revised figure, which was double that which they previously thought it would be, is due to some complicated tax credit issues in the US. Basically, this is being blamed on for poor demand for the company's TV sets, and they've been promising changes to turn the electronics giant around. So yeah, we've got a quote here as well saying, to bring Sony back, Hirai needs to develop personnel and platforms that create competitive and innovative products, but a lot of talent left under early retirement plans. The old Sony culture would only allow it to make things that were the best globally. Under that logic, this makes sense to continue its TV business when it's not even the market leader in Japan. That kind of makes sense, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously they make money from their TV sets, but if it's costing them more than it's making them money, then obviously they should cease to make them, at least until they become profitable again. They're not even the head in Japan, although, I don't know. I mean, do you need to be the head in something for it to be worth your while? I guess so. Obviously, they're not making enough money from their TV range, otherwise they wouldn't be even considering or even saying that it should be cut. So yeah, this is very interesting. So Sony seems to be in a little bit of trouble here. I mean, 6.4 billion is not small change, even for a company as big as Sony. So it'd be interesting to see what they're going to do to pull themselves out of this. I mean, obviously cutting the jobs is an understandable, if kind of crappy decision for the people losing their jobs, obviously. So that's one way, obviously, but that's not going to save them 6.4 billion. It's just not. So it'd be interesting to see how they turn this around, because if this is a fourth straight year without profits, something is clearly wrong, and it's probably not just the TVs, although that's probably part of it, yes. Something needs to be done, obviously. I don't know what. I'm not a financial expert, so I'll just be interested to see what they're going to say for the future and how they plan to get themselves out of this one. Anyway guys, that's me done for the day. I really hope you've enjoyed watching this episode of the Gaming News Roundup. We have a load of stuff on our channel, like Let's Plays and First Impressions reviews and things like that, so if you've liked this video, head on over and check it out. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.